Are you looking to support local businesses? Well, now you can. Check out the brand new Clara Business Directory on www.littletownmedia.com. You'll find all our local businesses in one place with one click. So let's support our own and check out the Clara Business Directory on littletownmedia.com. It's everything you need in black and white.
Here at Staunchface, we take our baking seriously. And we're not talking about the pani de banana bread type baking. We're talking American style, original recipe, hard to come by, donut frying, cupcake styling baking. And we have done our research. Try it for yourself, we insist. Open weekdays from 10 a.m. and weekends from 12 p.m. We only close when the shelves have been emptied. We are currently located in Irishtown, Athlone and 10 Harbour Street, Tullamore. We are people friendly, dog friendly and COVID friendly. We are Staunchface.
Bringing you the best music from the little town. It's Raheen FM.
Join the music, join the crack. You couldn't be on a better radio station.
Number one for today's hits and all-time favorites.
Raheen FM. Hi everybody, you're very welcome back to, I was actually going to say what's the story, but welcome back to Raheen Radio. It's been a while. We had Trevor Kavanagh on with us there a couple of months ago and we played the best of Clara music on the show. And of course I can't do that on my own, but I'll introduce my guest in a couple of minutes time. Thank you very much to Staunchface for sponsoring this show. We have some great Staunchface goodies to give away later. I just want to give you a little bit of news. This Friday, tomorrow, if you're listening today, we have a brand new Littletown Media website going to be launched, and on that website is going to be the new Clara Business Directory. So it'll be all the businesses from Clara. You log on to littletownmedia.com and you'll be able to drop down to all the different businesses and see what's available in our town, because there are so much local businesses in town and brilliant businesses supplying lots of different services, be it trades, barbers, pubs, food, you name it, it's going to be there. And so if you'd like to be added to that list, you can give me a shout on littletownmed@gmail.com, or actually just check out the website littletownmedia.com and you'll find all the information there. So look, I hope you're having a good week so far. I can't wait to play some great Clara tunes, but here to do that with me is a guy who I've played with for a couple of years in the Vows Wedding Band, and it's a great pleasure to introduce to you Danny McCormack. What's the story?
What's the story, lad? How are you doing?
Hello, Danny.
Are you well? I'm good.
Or Boom, we should call you.
Boom, yeah.
You'll have to tell us where that came from first.
God,
You're afraid this is going to come up, aren't you?
You know, my cousin's niece asked me this the other day in the car. She said, "Why are you called Boom?" And I said, "You should ask your dad. He's the one that named me." And he goes, "No, you tell her." I was like, "You tell her. You name me." Sure, I haven't a clue. They all just started calling me Danny Boom. Danny Boom, and then they dropped Danny.
So it's nothing got to do with being a bass player or anything?
Well, I tell everyone it is.
Danny, look, I have to say to you, first of all, as I say, condolences on the passing of your father, Noel Speedy McCormack. I know it's obviously been a tough time for you all. How's all the family doing?
We're coping. We all had such a great relationship with our father. Like we as much as we miss him around the place, like for such a small man, he left such a big void. But we were all quite content with the lives we had with him. Like, you know, we got to share a lot of good times with him. So
obviously we will come back and talk in detail about your father later on, and we have some lovely tributes as well for your dad. So growing up in the Green, Danny, can you tell us a little bit about that? What was it like?
It was class. It really was class. Myself, my sister, and my brother, we were, I suppose, the babies of the Green growing up. You know, you had all the Mourns and you had Bama Mara and a few more around the green, but Fergal Moore used to refer to us as the last real green. We used to love it. She used to have to come in and ask my mother, is it, we're going to have a big massive water balloon fight, either arm them or bring them in. So that sort of thing used to be great.
No, but it's a great place. I kind of lived on the outskirts of the green, but like all my childhood I spent in the green. The crack that was there, Block 40 and all this crack that was
Block 40, Manhunt, God, Curbs, Red Letter, television programs, loads of games you'd be playing, and there could be 9 or 10 of you more out every night, but you're outside your house. Your parents never minded or anything like that. And even there, just to see them, my mother was talking about Halloween, how that's kind of gone back. Like years ago, there'd be great crack, and it was harmless fun, flour and washing up liquid,
banging gates and stuff.
Banging gates. We used to change the gates in the green. You could just lift them off. So they'd wake up the next morning. Next to the Reese Berry's gate could be up outside of Dermot Maher's house, and so someone on the far side of the green could have a gate there at B. Ricker's house. So.
But you know what? Back then you thought this was real harm, but it
was harmless. Yeah.
Come here. So your family, you're the eldest of your family.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about your siblings then.
Yeah. So. I'm 34. You have Grace then, she's 16 months younger than me. She's living up in Dublin now a good while now, well over 10 years. And then you have Patrick. He's the youngest brother. He's turning 30 now next month, on 4th of December. So we're not kids anymore.
Did you all get on?
Oh, great. Yeah, Jesus, we're very close. Yeah, very close. Close enough that you go down to town, if you see one another, you're going to straight up and have a pint, a bit of a chat, We always kind of helped each other out and stuff. Growing up, there was no edgered arguments, as everybody does. But it was never bad. We always got on fairly well.
I remember a couple of times I was looking at Facebook on a Christmas, and I was looking at your pictures and the crack you were seemed to be having. I was thinking, why can't I live down in my corners? The crack you were having with your father, and you'd have these the beer mats on with the faces.
Oh yeah, that was waffle crack.
Jesus, brilliant stuff.
Yeah, shortly before he passed, then kind of while the lockdown was going on, we had, even up until he passed, the day before, we used to go down and play the likes of 31. Now, when I say we played this game 500 times, it's not an exaggeration. Well, it is an exaggeration. But every single time, right, you're going to have to explain this to me again. It's Dad, you have to make up 31.
You just couldn't get it.
But when can I put it down? And when do I knock? So, but that was part of the crack, But and Christmas was kind of the day we all let the hair down and we did it in the morning. They used to have a ritual every Christmas where my mother and sister did put on the Wizard of Oz, and my dad and myself would be like, oh jeez,
not this again.
Christ, turn off this thing. It got so bad one Christmas I watched 3 Harry Potter DVDs on TG4. I read the subtitles. I was like, I'm not watching the Wizard of Oz.
That's bad nowadays. Danny, of course, we do play a little bit of music on the show now and then. Have you anything picked for your first song?
I really like the intro music.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a Zambezi.
Zambezi, JR Big Band, Jimmy
like
Rabbit. Yeah, but originally was it Lou Bouche in Yorkshire, I think it is, yeah. But I love that growing up, and it's great as well to hear when you go down to town every now and again. You see Jack Rabbit and the kids, Kieran and the boys are still playing it.
Yeah. And you play saxophone yourself as well?
I haven't played it in a while, but it's lovely to see, and I know how difficult it is to play and get the sound right. So. Yeah, I love that song. So
we'll start with that one, Zambezi by the JR Big Band. Here we go. That's lovely. The JR Big Band with Zambezi. I remember playing that actually years ago with Leo Rabbit out in the house. Leo was a great drummer actually. He taught me my first few beats. So Danny, did you make music a career for yourself up to now?
Yeah, I did. I tried to go the other route, but I kept falling back to music and obviously studying it, and got in with a few bands, and then I got a call for a band that I could make my sole job, and I work sometimes 7 days a week at it, sometimes 14 hours a day. Well, it's a good career so far. But the band I've been with them since 2014 now, so I went them a good. And there's kind of two bands in that, so it's pretty busy. Like,
tell us about them, Danny.
The main band, the big band, the wedding band is the Best Men. They're called. Obviously, a little bit of a twist on.
Yeah, good name. Very good band actually, I must say.
A Dublin-based band. The owner, Jonathan, him and his wife run an agency called Music Angel, and their main band is the Best Men. So Jonathan fronts the band. He plays keys. Colin Sullivan plays guitar. The drummer that's with us now is Dara Armstrong. There was a previous drummer before, but he left. But yeah, it's just the four of us. We all play. There's no tracks. Jonathan works really hard on recreating the sounds of songs on his keyboard and stuff like that. So it's really good. And then myself and Jonathan and Colin, we branch off then, and we have a ukulele trio.
Right, that's interesting.
Yeah, so they're called the Kooky Ukes. They're the original ukulele band in Ireland. There was no ukulele band like them in Ireland. And now I think there's like 5 or 6.
It's always going to be the case, isn't it?
And they're not subtle about it. It's literally the exact same thing.
Right. Danny, what was your first band then when you picked up at 17?
Oh, it was John Lane, Butch McCormack, Stephen Rabbit, Lorraine Rabbit, and Louise Buckley. That was it.
That sounds like a good band, to be fair.
It was, yeah. Jesus, what was the name? I think we were called Touch or something, and we couldn't come up with a name. And I was at home one and the text us saying, "Could you come up with a name? If anyone has any names of a song?" And I was literally after spraying Link's Touch on myself, and I said, "What about Touch?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's a great name." So
Danny's great. It is.
That was it. Yeah,
so you're named after a can of spray.
After a can of Links.
Were you any good?
No. No. I wouldn't say. Look, we were good for our ages. Well, we were okay for our ages. We got quite good. John Lane was very good. Yeah. I thought he was the best of us. Kind of at the time, he was quite well advanced guitar wise, and still is to this day. Like not to the game.
And Stephen plays as well, so that's
Stephen drumming, and
Butch is playing.
Butch was kind of fronting it, so he was. And then so Butch was kind of playing rhythm guitar and singing, but Lorraine Rabbit was kind of fronting it then. And then things switched around a bit, and I think Louise Buckley was in it first. She was playing keyboards, and I think after school, then she was like losers. Yeah, playing with she. So,
Danny, another song.
One of the bands. So I worked in the pub as well while I was playing, and I used to absolutely love when Top Brass would play. There's a bunch of songs, and Cyril Kavanagh, probably one of my most favorite singers in Clara.
Right. I
love his voice, and he's got a great voice. It's very, very silken. And the boys used to do Saturday Night at the Movies, all these things. And I love the one he done with the Bobby Darin song, Somewhere Beyond the Sea. So, yeah, I'd like to hear that one.
Okay, here it is. Cyril Kavanagh, Somewhere Beyond the Sea. Hope you're enjoying the show, everybody. Don't forget we have some Stodge Face goodies to give away a little later on, but here is Cyril Kavanagh.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. Somewhere beyond the sea, she's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds and high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing. It's far beyond the stars, it's near beyond the moon. I know beyond soon. We'll meet beyond the shores. We'll kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. Just as before, happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. No more sailing, so long sailing, bye-bye sailing.
Sarah Kavanagh there, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, another cracking tune, Danny.
Yeah, Bobby Darin's song from Searle, yeah.
Brilliant.
I love it.
Actually, we were searching through the archives here while we were listening to that, and we found a little song from your father, Danny.
We did, Wolverton Mountain, yeah. It's one of the ones he used to sing in down in White's on the Friday nights, The Usual Suspects. Joe Rabbit used to sing when they're doing the high parts, but he soon after that we got a bit of a backing track. Sounds good though.
Such a staple on a Friday night, the Whites, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, I'm sure that went for what, 7 years?
Yeah,
maybe a bit more. And in the wall, the Music Hall of Fame.
Did you make the Hall of Fame, Danny?
No, I don't think I was old enough.
Good looking enough.
Good looking enough. I don't think I had enough grey hairs. No, but all the old kind of the stalwarts of music in the town were on that sort of were, yeah.
Introduce the next song, Danny.
Yeah, Wolverton Mountain, and it's the late great Speedy McCormack.
They say don't go on Wolverton Mountain if you're looking for a wife, 'cause Clifton Flowers has a pretty young daughter. He's mighty handy with a gun and a knife. Her tender lips are sweeter than honey, and Wolverton Mountain protects her there. The bears and the birds and Clifton Flowers. If a stranger should wander there, all of my dreams are on Wolverton Mountain. It's too lonesome down here below. It's just not right to keep his daughter from the one who loves her so. Her tender lips are sweeter than honey, and Wolverton Mountain protects her there. The bears and the birds help Clifton Flowers. If a stranger should wander there, all of my dreams are on Wolverton Mountain. It's too lonesome down here below. It's not right to keep his daughter from the one who loves her so. Her tender lips are sweeter than honey, and Wolverton Mountain protects her there. The bears and the birds help Clifton Flowers. If a stranger should wander there. Well, I don't care about different flowers. I'm going to climb upon that mountain. I don't care about different flowers. I'm going to get me the one I love. I don't care about different flowers. I'm going to climb upon that mountain. I don't care about different flowers. I'm going to get me the one I love. I don't care about different flowers.
That was the one and only Speedy McCormack.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Where did your father get into music himself?
Oh, he started quite young, actually. I think he got his father first bought him a mouth organ. He used to make him play it at the top of the stairs for people when they go back for a few drinks. Then Joe Slammin, he got an accordion, a piano accordion, and he couldn't play it, so Dad started messing around with it. Then he he was entered into a competition, came fifth in Ireland, and the Honor competition or something. But anyway, he wanted to play guitar after that, and very soon after that, then he got one on this. I think was it called the Hire Purchase, or
the Never we call it.
So he paid for a guitar over 12 months, and then he started learning kind of shadow songs and stuff like that. But then Matt Fleming, the late Matt Fleming, he taught him his first chords.
Oh.
So yeah, because he was just playing kind of leady stuff and fiddling around. He wasn't playing anything. So Matt taught him the few chords, and then he started learning songs properly and stuff like that.
Brilliant. You mentioned your father there won some competitions. Is that right?
Yeah, it was the Honor National Championships or something it was called, and I think a guy from Athlone won it. But from a member from the interview, if you won it, you got a 2-week tour in America. All expenses paid, and it was seemingly a massive prize at the time, yeah.
But you're an award winner yourself, Danny. We've only the best on this show.
Yeah.
You recently got an IMRO award for your participation on an album for Appella.
Yeah, I played bass on an album with Dara Quilty and Ronan Nolan. They are Appella, and I played bass on the album. Joe Egan produced it, and a guy called Aidan Cunningham from Tullamore as well, living in America now, he mastered and stuff. So we all got, because the award, we all of the money raised from the album was donated to the Marie Keaton Foundation.
Oh, that's lovely. Unfortunately,
Dara, the main guy, his mother passed away about 2 weeks after my own dad from cancer.
Right.
So that's why the whole cover is pink. 1963 is her year of birth. And so Imro presented him with it, and then he presented us then with all of our ones as well. So it's a lovely memento, just a kind of like...
So it'd be lovely for people to go and buy that album, Appella.
Yeah.
Goes to a great cause, Marie Keaton Foundation.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Danny, you're also you were into sport as well, apart from music.
I was, yeah. Started very young, started under 8s, kind of in school. You had the Brother Urban League the whole way growing up, and then you had your Leinster summer camps, and then I started playing kind of... club level and stuff like that, and I have a couple of county medals and stuff. I think we've an under 14 county medal, under 16 shield, a minor county medal.
Danny, I'd say you were dangerous with a hurl, are you?
Only to myself.
Many bones did you break? Come on.
All my fingers, I have a couple of toes broke. Yeah.
And you can still play the bass, like as well.
Well, I had to give up. I had to give up playing hurling when I was 21 or that, because honestly, sure, I've a baby finger here, doesn't even straighten it. What use is that?
Jesus.
Yeah, no, so I give it up. You know, obviously, if your livelihood comes ahead of pleasure sometimes, and luckily for me, now my livelihood is my pleasure, so...
Okay.
You know.
I want to hear a little bit from your sister Grace right now. So while we're doing this, Danny, we're going to eat a few staunch face goodies.
Lovely.
Okay, well, obviously we're paying attention.
I've been looking at them here the last few minutes.
They look good, all right. So here's Grace. Have a listen.
Hey Lloyd and Danny, well, Dan to me, not Danny. I know everybody calls you Danny, but it's Dan to me, or Dan when we were growing up. Just a few memories from me. Start off with music. I know Dan would have introduced me to Red Hot Chili Peppers, still my favourite band of all time. And I believe it might have been Flea within the Chili Peppers that kind of started the whole bass thing. There was Bulletproof growing up. I think I followed them wherever they would go. There was Scribes, Anywhere in Clara. But two of my favourite songs that Dan used to sing was Bon Jovi, Wanted Dead or Alive, or Michael Jackson, Beat It. I suppose music at home. Obviously, Dad loved the fact that Dan was really passionate and really good at music, was really proud of him, but would also wreck his head a little bit anytime he came down to the house about chords and getting him the chords to certain songs that he wanted to learn, different things like that. But also Speedy had a fascination with the Google, was fascinated with the fact that you could just put in a couple of lyrics and the Google would tell you all the lyrics, the chords, who the artist was, and then the full name of the song. I suppose a really nice memory that I have from us growing up was a Christmas that where Santi, he would have had all our Christmas presents at the bottom of our beds in Santi sacks. So that was the first thing we saw when we woke up Christmas morning. It was amazing. We were delighted with life. We always woke up about 5 a.m. There's a picture somewhere though of that Christmas. Memory serves me right, Daniel is wearing Man United pyjamas, and there's a picture of him standing on the couch pointing at the camera with 2 plastic pistols, all excited. So I used to be an ogress, and I remember coming home one trip from Ogress. I think we were in Donegal, and I bought a Smash Hits magazine on the way home, and in the magazine was a cardboard cutout of a Gareth Gates mask. When I got home, Dan was in the shower singing away, and as a bit of a laugh I said I'd put on the mask and I'd stand in his door with the light off, which was so his bedroom was directly across from the bathroom. So when he opened the bathroom, he got such a fright, he fell right back into the bathroom. It was such a funny experience, such a funny thing to see. But yeah, that's a few memories from me for Danny. And yeah, great big brother. There's not many years between us, only about a year and a half, but the best big brother anybody could ask for, and worst Cards Against Humanity player. But yeah.
Now, Danny, your rebuttal there. Get a good giggle over that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things. A Gareth Gates mask, that would scare anyone now coming out of the shower.
It was more the noise I made. It was like my whole insides flew out. I was like, ugh. But all I could see was Gareth Gates with no eyes or body standing in the doorway, and I fell back into the bath. Oh, jeez, that was the worst.
Speedy and the Google. That was good, wasn't it?
He couldn't believe this, and my mother then be getting text. How do you turn on Google? She's like, just turn on the laptop and stuff. Yeah,
he switched for the show.
Oh, he'd be fine. Yeah, couldn't believe typing in like and the song, and next thing the whole song will pop up full of it. He's like, gee, that's unbelievable.
We won't mention the Man United pajamas.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Actually, I don't want to picture it, but yeah.
It's very embarrassing.
It's there now for everyone to hear anyway. Everyone will be asking.
Thank God it's a podcast.
Anyway, take another little song. Actually, before that, you're a dad now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How'd that happen? Well, no, I don't.
Yeah, okay. Say.
But Raina Grace.
Raina. Yeah, Raina. Grace, yeah, is her second name. But
where did Raina come from, the name?
So her mother is a massive Freddie Mercury fan and Queen fan, and Raina, spelled R-E-I-N-A, is Spanish for Queen. So we spelled it just R-E-Y-N-A, just like that. But yeah, but she's a huge, like it's her 30th this year, I think. She had planned to go to Montreux. We had to, there's a massive Freddie Mercury museum there and huge statue of Freddie Mercury. I think it's the last place he recorded or something like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but sure, obviously fell by the way.
She's probably the most famous child in Ireland right now that people don't actually realise, isn't she?
Oh, the Queen. What?
Is Gianna Nad?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we just applied for. Deborah has loads of friends who do kind of some work in that, and there's different pages on Facebook that casting companies and stuff that are looking for. So we just fit the bill, and we recorded a couple of things and sent it in, and
I've seen Raina 4 times today already.
Yeah, she's on the triad.
She's on the triad. If you look at the triad the next time, there's a little baby on it, gorgeous little baby. That's Raina.
That's her.
That's Danny's daughter. But any plans for any more, Danny?
Yeah, we've actually had one on the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we're having a little boy.
Very good.
Yeah, he's on.
That's brilliant news.
Yeah, he's due on my birthday, so it'll be Irish twins.
I've Irish triplets now, so you can't beat that.
And they could file on to me as well, saying there's going to be 10 months between mine. He's like, you're not going to beat my record. He's Irish twins as well.
Very good. Brilliant. That's great. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Yeah, we're both delighted, so we are.
Great stuff. So, Danny, another song then.
Yeah, foremost, Joe Rabbit. singing this one. I think it's Sir and Pod, you're on it as well, and Christy too. So it's I think it's either the B side or the A side to Magic Woman Touch, Slipping Away.
Just can't help but feeling someone else is stealing you away from me. I see it written in your eyes. You confirm it with your lies. Though the web you weave can hold me, I would rather that you told me where you want to be.
The wonderful Foremost there. Danny, did your father himself have a particular style of music that he liked to play? Or
Yeah, well, of late, it was more that kind of reggae style, upbeat thing, and he liked to kind of put that on songs like Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis and stuff like that. And then he liked to listen to songs kind of like I'll Never Find Another You by the Seekers and Annie Murray and stuff like that.
Okay, when I was younger, there was kind of a rumour Speedy used to make his own chords, wizardry.
He did, yeah. Now, like it's like that when say if he was comping somebody and he wasn't too sure of the chords, or if he couldn't get there real quick, he would just make an inversion of a chord, and I wasn't too up on it at the time. I was like, why are you after playing there? And he would look at me like I had 10 heads because I wasn't able to play the young underneath.
Did you enjoy playing with your father on a Friday night when you had time?
I used to love it. I absolutely used to love it. Reason being is because he wouldn't really say a word to you. Like, he'd tell you the key. Actually, at the very beginning, he wouldn't tell me the key on purpose. He's like, find it. But then it got to the stage where it was, we were doing a gig I was doing a solo gig at the Trap one night, and Pat Middleton got up, and there was someone else there, and he was saying all before the gig, don't call me up, I'm not singing a song, I don't want to sing tonight. And next all of a sudden he was up right beside me. I was like, do you want to sing a song? He's like, yeah, right. So I said, what do you want to sing? He said, A Wonderful World. I said, I have no backing track machine. I may play it for you. And he's like, do you know the chords? I was like, I do know the chords. And he's like, no, do you know the proper chords, the right chords? I said, I do know the chords. I said, come on, we'll play it. So next I started playing the song anyway, and there was one particular part of the song where it was it's going from the end of the verse back, or into the chorus back into the verse, and I hit the wrong chord, and he turned round and he absolutely made me feel 2 inches tall. And Pat Midland was like, "What, Jesus!" I was like, "Sorry." Anyway, we continued on with the song. He forgave me afterwards, but he never let me forget it.
Well, actually, there was a time with the vows with him with saxophone, but we won't.
Jeez. That was the first gig I ever played. The first gig I ever played, and we were playing, what was the Christmas song? Shakin' Stevens. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-da-da.
Snow is falling.
Yeah, so I said to the boys, "What's the key of this song? And is it the original?" Yeah.
Now, think about it. This is Danny's first night with the wedding band.
Yeah,
Danny brings his sax, you know.
Not only had I to play bass and sing, but I had to play the sax as well. I think it was the only reason I got the job at the time. But the next, all of a sudden, I thought it was in the right key, you know, so ba-ba-da-ba-da-da-da. And next thing, we were in the Lyrat and the place was jammed, and Damien goes, "Take it away, Danny." And I'm like, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. I was
completely wrong.
Mile out. Oh, Jesus, I sank. Oh, the guitar player was sitting on a chair, and I turned to Kevin, the keeper, I was like, "Jimmy, play something quick."
Yeah, your dad would have got a good laugh about that, Danny.
Yeah, he would. He did. I told him about it as well. Yeah.
Danny, in your own words, obviously, how would you describe your father?
I suppose I would describe him as easygoing, a carefree man, give the benefit of the doubt, an intelligent man, a slow mover, fast thinker. You know, love the joke, love the laugh. I think he saw the majority of the time he saw the better side of things, and just I think he liked to keep things light. And, you know, very outspoken on how proud he was of us, and you know we loved him for that and much more. So.
Brilliant. You have a lovely song lined up next, Danny. Can you tell us who's in the lineup?
Yeah, in the lineup we have myself on bass, Joe Rabbit on drums, William Bracken is playing guitar, Claire Sheeran Rabbit is on keyboards, and her husband Tom is on fiddle.
Introduce it.
The song is "I Am I Said."
LA's fine, the sun shines most of the time, and the feeling is laid back. Palm trees grow and rents are low, but you know I keep thinking about making my way back. Well, I'm New York City born and raised, but nowadays I'm lost between two shores. LA's fine, but it ain't home. New York's home, but it ain't mine no more. I am myself to no one there, and no one heard a word, not even the chair. I am my cry. I am, said I, and I am lost, and I can't even say why. Leaving me lonely still. Whoever heard about a frog or tree that being a king and then became one? Well, except for the names and a few little changes, you talk about me, the story's the same one. Well, I've got an emptiness deep inside, and I've tried, but it won't let me go. And I'm not a man who likes to swear, and I never cared for the sound of being alone. I am myself to no one there, and no one heard a word, not even the chair.
Wow, that was some band there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jeez, amazing to have that.
For one night only.
A lot of people, that's their first time to hear that. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't have heard that before publicly.
Yeah, I haven't heard that since. Myself and Joe talk about it a lot. There was a song we done that night as well before this one, Forever in Blue Jeans. But that was a bit of a, it looked like we staged it from the walk up. By the time we got to the mic, it was like boom, boom. It's a bit cheesy, but it was a great night. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, we have a lot of audio tributes to get through, Danny, and this first one was done by Aidan Rex, Podge Kavanagh, and Seamus Willis, and it was recorded down at AREX Studios last Saturday night by Aidan. And thank you very much, Aidan, for sending this to me.
Hi, Lloyd. I'm joined here this evening with Podge Kavanagh.
Hi.
And Seamus Willis. Seamus, I'll start with you. You and Speedy grew up together.
We did. Speedy and I went to school together. We lived near one another. And we've been pals all our lives, actually. We started playing music together. Well, the band started us playing in Ireland. And Speedy bought himself a guitar. And he was playing on his own. And I started drumming behind him. And that's how we got going. He got better and I got better listening to him. And that's the way things progressed. Well, Jimmy Rabbit's band were winding down, I think, at the time, and Davy Kavanagh, Vin Dunn and Jerry Rock decided to start a band called the Countrymen. So Speedy was asked to join the band, and Speedy said he'd go if I went as well. So that's how we all ended up in the Countrymen. Speedy and I played together for a long time. I think we played in 2 show bands and about 5 groups. We always stuck together, really.
Podge, you played with the Crackaways with Speedy. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, I joined the Crackaways in 1965 as trumpet player. I was 15 at the time. And that was the first time I met and played with Speedy. In fact, I was so young that the priest came down and commented to my father that he shouldn't allow me into a band at this stage.
Well, the Crackaways was a very professional band at that time.
Oh, certainly, yes.
They appeared on television. On what program was that, Podge?
It was called The Chopin Show.
And you also done a lot of touring in the UK and in Germany.
Yes, and in Germany we played support to acts like Tony Joe White, the 3 Degrees, Frankie Avalon, Everly Brothers, and Roy Orbison.
How did yourself and Speedy get on?
Well, myself and Speedy got on great. In fact, I used to go down to Speedy's house during the week. He'd have songs done out on a tape recorder, and we work out the chords and the music for the next band session. Well, I would remember Speedy as a very intelligent, brainy person, and a great arranger, a great guitarist, a great singer, and a wonderful person to have known.
Hear, hear.
Well, Aidan, you got to know Speedy.
I joined a band called Freedom back in the 70s that Speedy was attached to. Because there was only 4 of us in the band, I would have regarded him as really the musical director. He was a witty guy, and he always liked to tell a joke. Well, Speedy was one of a kind from his guitar ability. I remember him figuring out the chords and the solo for a David Soul number, Silver Lady, and that was a fairly heavy solo. And he would figure it out himself, and then he'd write out the chords and he'd tell me what bass lines I was to do in that particular kind of a song. Now, from his singing ability, he was a great singer. He was a great ballad singer. I'll always remember him doing a song called Unchained Melody, and he would get a standing ovation for that song every night. He was unreal, really. I'll ask you the final question, Seamus. How would you like us all to remember Speedy?
Speedy and I were very good friends all our lives. He was a very technical man and he had a great mind. And like the boys said, he was one good musician and a good singer. And I'd miss him.
Lovely words there, Danny, from the 3 lads.
Very nice.
They're 3 lads that would have known your father intimately, years ago, back in the 60s and 70s and that. Having a chat down at the studio, nice.
Yeah, it's nice for me to hear them getting together speaking about him like that. It's hard to hear.
I know that. But I understand.
It's nice as well that they've such good things to say about him and stuff. And I remember a lot of the things that he would have said to me growing up, like that they've been speaking about, like playing abroad and how close he was to Seamus Willis growing up and stuff like that. And there's even
playing support acts to Roy Orbison.
Yeah, I remember we got him interviewed there a while back, and he was saying that the Arcadia and Bray, I think they played support for Roy Orbison and the Everly Brothers, and I think they played alongside, or either before, I'm not too sure, Sandy Shaw in Manchester, stuff like that, and then obviously Frankie Avalon and that and stuff in Germany. Obviously I'm paraphrasing a lot of stuff he said and they said.
Great musicians, the boys too, in fairness.
Oh yeah,
Hayden, Podge and Seamus.
My father used to always talk about Podge playing it's a cornet, the cornet solo on Eleanor Rigby. Said he couldn't believe it. Podge got up to the high note, like yeah.
Legends, really, all the boys.
Oh come on, they done it the hard way, and obviously signs are on it. How good they were.
Okay, I have another little tribute here, and actually a little piece of music by Seamus Willis on this one, so we'll have a listen to this.
I knew the stakes were high right from the start. When she dealt the card, she dealt my heart. Now I've just found.
Hi, Paddy Bracken here. What can I say about Speedy? He was unreal. I worked with him in the factory and played with him in the band with Martin Riley for years. Remember one night up in Dangan, I called out an old time waltz. They were all waiting to go up. And I turned around, "You're right, Speedy. They can go now," said Speedy, when I roll this one. I get 2 pulls of it and off to go then. Always many a night, many a laugh. I always had a great crack. Miss him very much.
Hi everybody in Clara. This is Adrian Rabbit here. Just speaking on behalf of Speedy McCormack from Clara. I had the pleasure of playing with Speedy back in the 80s, up to the 90s, with Joe Rabbit's band, and I have to say he was an absolute legend and a pleasure to play with him, and a gentleman. May he rest in peace. Well done, Speedy. You're one of the best.
Hi Lloyd, Joe Rabbit here. Thanks very much for asking me on to say a few words about Speedy on behalf of my family, the Rabbit family down here in Woodfield. Speedy was a great character. Many's the time he'd be in his presence and he could hand you a mobile phone and he'd say to you, "Here G, read that." And it'd be a joke on the phone. He'd look at your reaction and he'd get more of a laugh out of you getting a laugh out of the joke than anything else. Some brilliant nights with Speedy. Even on the Monday nights there with Lock and Load, Speedy would always be down and he'd get up and sing a couple of numbers. And fantastic singer and a fantastic musician. And if you ever wanted to hear a Neil Diamond song sung the way it's supposed to be sung, Speedy McCormack was your only man. Speedy soldiered the roads for many years with my dad in a band called Wackos. And even in the later years, you'd often find them on the stage together, backing various artists. Maybe if it was in White's on a Friday night, or if there was ever an event going on in the town, the two boys would be on stage beside each other playing and backing everybody else, and they loved it. Of course, any electrical work that needed to be done in our house, it was always give Speedy a call. He knows what he's at, he'll get it done. Speedy loved his family, his wife Margaret, his kids Patrick, Grace, and of course Daniel, who's there beside you. And it's lovely to see that the apple didn't fall far from the tree. So lads, enjoy the show. Daniel and Lloyd, have a bit of crack and a laugh. I'm looking forward to hearing it. And rest in peace, Speedy.
That's nice, isn't it?
Really?
Jeez. Yeah, that's my father, Paddy, Adrian Rabbit, and Joe Rabbit. Lovely words, like it's so nice to hear that.
It is. I don't think you realise, until after the fact,
what somebody meant to everyone.
Yeah, well, how people kind of viewed him and stuff like that. Just thinking on Joe there, where he handed you the phone. He used to say to us, "Will you get me one of them touchscreen phones?" And we were like, "Absolutely not." He says, "I want to use Google." I said, "Dad, you could type anything into that. We can't give you a phone." So his phone had more buttons now than a BlackBerry. That's what it.
Great humour, and like I was obviously at the graveyard, and you said some lovely words about your father, but there was all great humour in it, and I wouldn't have expected any less because he loved the bit of humour.
Well, I was just echoing the man that was around for so long. Like, this is a sick sense of humour he had. He says, if I ever die, well, obviously he was to die, because if I'm to go, I want to go slow so that you're ready for it. And we were like, that's sadistic. I said, that's what do you mean? You want to go out like a light? Oh yeah, I suppose, he says. I said, jeez, all these things we laugh about it afterwards and stuff like that. But no, he would have wanted everyone having a bit of a chuckle there up at the graveside and sending them off with a smile rather than a frown, that sort of way. So
it was lovely to see the musicians' guard of honour.
Stop! Oh God, I couldn't look back. I was absolutely
every musician in the town
sobbing, and then I heard
there was drummers there as well.
I was wondering they're all clapping in time.
No, but it was so nice to see that, young and old.
It really was, yeah. I couldn't look back. Honest to God, if I turned around, I would have broke down altogether. Like,
from the funeral, when we were looking at it on video now because it was COVID times, a lovely song you recorded.
Yeah,
leader of the band.
Yeah. I first heard Jojo Bracken singing that song, and I thought to myself, I absolutely love that song. Of course, it's written and sung by Dan Fogelberg, and I sort of listened into that, and then I decided to learn it, and I done it one night down in White's. And he had to leave because he started crying. He actually burst out crying. He had to leave. And I didn't know at the time. Obviously, people told me afterwards. And I said it to him, and he was like, "Oh, it's very good." Because it's the last verse, you see, Yeah. Papa, I don't think I said I love you near enough. So every time I was playing after that, he'd say to me, do that one. He says, like, I love you singing that one. Well, so then I recorded it in, and I let him hear it, and he was like, all right, that's enough of that. He was getting kind of sentimental and stuff. Yeah. And so my mother said, would you mind playing that? That's the last song. And I was like, okay, if that's what you want, no problem.
Do you mind if we have a little listen to it?
Oh, yeah, all right, okay. Yeah.
Billy Meehan here. My memories of Speedy was, of course, like everyone else, singing and his guitar playing. But for me, he was a very good electrician. And I remember moving into our first house. We were a bit stuck for a bit of work to do, and I asked Speedy, and up he came to do the job. And when he had it done, I said to him, "Speedy, how much do I owe you?" And he said, "Gosson, you can buy me a pint the next time you meet down the town." So he was great like that. Also, then when you were down the town, we were only young lads starting out. If you needed no chord, or even you wanted to loan a guitar, or whatever the case would be, Speedy was always one that would do it. And then if you were at a charity gig or things like that, Speedy would always say, "Bring the young lads up there, they have to learn sometime." So he gave everyone a fair chance, and he'd be sorely missed in the town as a friend and a musician.
Danny, I just want to say I had the great honour and pleasure of sharing the stage with the late great Speedy McCormack on many, many occasions, with the late great Joe Rabbit as well, of course, with Quando and Wackos, and in latter stages then myself and Speedy and Willie Bracken. But a very underestimated musician, I think, in my view. Great bass player, rhythm guitar player, great vocalist. Real pleasure to share the stage with such a great legend as Speedy McCormack.
Well, hello Lloyd.
Like you asked me to say a couple of words about Speedy McCormack. Well, Lord Lloyd, like where do I begin? Like I could go on for weeks talking about Speedy. Well, I have to say, like to start off, like Speedy came into my life when I was a very young man, and I was tearing around the green on my bicycle. And of course, one day I ran into Anthony Rooney's car, and I ended up in Speedy's front garden. Like I did break my wrist or my arm at the time, but of course Speedy came to my aid. He helped me out. He brought me home, and of course ever since then we've been the best of friends. I suppose over the years I ended up learning both guitar and bass guitar from Speedy. He was always very helpful and always a great musician. And apart from his ability to play, he was a class singer. As we all know, he was excellent doing Neil Diamond. Speedy played with myself and with Jerry Kidney for many years in the band, and he was always great crack, like never a dull moment. And of course, as we all know, he had lots of yarns. Most importantly, Speedy was a great long life friend, and I miss him fierce. And every few weeks there during the pandemic, he'd always give me a buzz or a text to see how things were and vice versa. So look, all I'll say to Daniel and Margaret and to Grace, to Patrick, I'd say, look, I know how you feel. I miss him fierce myself. And I would just like to say that I hope Speedy's up there playing with the best of them, because he sure can do it. And I'm sure we meet again. Rest in peace, Speedy.
Where do you go?
I know,
from
I'm swallowing a golf ball here.
Yeah, lovely. And you playing underneath is fabulous. I love that person. Yeah, it's just lovely. Like,
and yeah, Willie's right in what he was saying there. I remember tipping down, and I used to call down 4 or 5 times a week, like, you know, just popping into them, and he'd be there with the phone out, and the glasses would be hanging off the bottom of his nose, and he'd be there, Willie Bracken, or I was texting Willie Bracken or Peter Shanley and stuff like that, so, you know, they're all getting on, or vice versa, having a chat and stuff like that. And Willie was there, you know, when Dad was initially sick in the hospital. He came in and sat there, and which was very good, because his own brother at the time wasn't great at all. Like, you know, he was literally on the death's doorstep as well. So, yeah, Willie came in, and we, you know, pretty much we thought he was going to pass away then, but you know, he lived on.
what does it mean to you, Danny, to hear some of the nice words about your father from his friends?
Well, it's hard to really describe. It's almost a little outer body, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm kind of, you know, standing over there looking at myself, listening to all this, and what do I think of it? It just feels lovely. That's all I can say. It just feels lovely to know that he was so loved, that he had such good friends, that he was, you know, respected amongst them, that I know for a fact he loved them as well. He used to speak about them an awful lot, like, you know. Yeah. So
I had some great times. I played with your father down through the years when Jerry Kidney was off.
Yeah.
I used to step in, and as well with Joe Rabbit's father. And the
young enough as well, I'd say.
I was young enough, yeah, and I used to love going with your father. Willie Bracken would pick us up in the white Mondeo with a big trailer on the back.
I remember the trailer, yeah.
Yeah. And the crack we'd have was just unreal, because your father was so easy going.
Yeah.
You know, and it didn't matter what happened. It was like,
whatever, yeah.
Everything was grand, you know. And we might have a beer. I might have been too young to have a beer, but we had one anyway.
Yeah.
Last little tribute here, and we'll have a little listen here. Last tribute.
Like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort. It is there to keep you warm. And in these times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memories of love will bring you home. Perhaps love is like...
This is Penny Rabbit here. I'd just like to say a few words about Speedy. We had some great times together. We played together in the Crackaways, and we went to Germany and spent 2 months in Germany. And then we started the Playmates. We recorded that Jody and Don't Fight, and Speedy done the intro, and it was funny, like, at times, you know. And then when that finished, then myself and Speedy and Racey, we started the Twigs, and we spent for years again. So we had some great times. And Germany was 2 months in Germany was a marvelous experience altogether. We had some great times and stories that we could tell. Stories I could tell, but I wouldn't have time to tell them now. Speedy always come up trumps with something when we got into trouble. So I just say to Boom, he was a marvellous musician and a fantastic singer. We had some great times together.
Hi, Stephen Rabbit here. So thanks to Lloyd for asking me to come on and say a few words about the great Speedy. Myself and Boom, I suppose, go back a long way, and my dad and Speedy go back a long way. And you can say, I suppose, that it's a bit of history repeating itself. The fact that we're close friends. The man himself, Speedy, what can I say? He was always a massive influence in terms of music. I looked up to him as a musician. He was a man of quick wit. I always had a joke to tell you, but he was also someone who would always give you some sound advice when you were playing music, and he'd always be honest, and he'd always give you a bit of a critique. It was always honest. One of the things that stands out that he always said to me was, give every note its value. And I suppose Boom will tell you that as well. And it's one of those things that just sticks in your head. But he'll be sorely missed in a town, a local legend. And the old nights when we all get together and play a few tunes won't be the same without him. But Boom, your credit to your dad. And he was always very proud of you. And you could always see that. And I'd say that the legend lives on. So
Stuff to finish off there. What do you think of that, Danny?
I've never heard that song before.
I think of that falsetto. Jesus. Give you a run for your money.
I've never heard that song before. He used to tell me, he said...
well, actually, sorry, before you said that, I must thank Joe Rabbit Jr. for that, because he did so much work with me on this podcast. He gave me lots of music and everything, and he really went above and beyond, going through tapes in the attic and everything. So, Joe Rabbit, too.
Well, I echo that sentiment, Joe. Thanks very much, and thanks for your lovely words as well. I really appreciate everything. Thanks very much.
You were saying anything about the song there? Or?
Yeah, no, just also as a bit of a tribute to Joe Rabbit, he used to kind of pride himself off of being able to harmonise with Joe. Like, that's how highly he revered Joe's voice. He's like, if I could sing, I remember earlier on I mentioned about singing Unchained Melody. He used to kind of do that with Joe as well, I think. And there was like a bridge over troubled water. I think the boys used to sing. I think that was done in the Dell at Lawn and stuff like that. But he'd be singing all that falsetto stuff, and I used to never. I was like, I can't hear that, because his voice was older now. Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's one thing I will always. It'll go with me that I never heard him in his prime, if you know what I mean. Like, I wish I could have. Like, just before we finish up, if I could, I don't know if I could echo how much I would like to thank everyone for their lovely words. Obviously, I wish they didn't have to do all that, but very, very heartwarming, very emotional to hear all that. Very, very difficult to hear the love people had for him and stuff like that. It's nice to hear all the stuff that they're saying. I can kind of, I've heard some of it down through the years, I can understand what they're saying. I've seen his friendships with people. I've seen, you know, some of the people he's played with and how he is with them and stuff like that. I just like to thank them all from myself and my family. Just how much I love it. Also, I would, if I could, just extend God to basically the fire brigade and the ambulance service. Key Cunningham, Barry Flynn, all they had done that day. Barry Flynn was like a translator from heaven. We were just hearing words, you know. They were giving us in brass fact, and Barry was like, right, look, this is the way. Right. He was just so good at his job that day, and we can't thank him enough. And especially for him interviewing him, like he interviewed him on the 19th of October, 2013.
Imagine.
It's weird, and then, you know, 19.
I was going to say that to you. So
but then he passed away on the 19th of July, 2021.
Okay.
I don't know, weird correlations like that kind of pop into my head and stuff like that.
Okay, so like you have an interview of your father on DVD that you've given to me tonight, which is lovely. I can't wait to see it.
We got it done after he turned 70.
Would you release that sometime for everyone to
have?
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah, that and more. I have a bunch of pictures. I've loads of pictures from when they were in Germany. He's sitting on a tank and stuff like that, and like that. There's a couple of funny stories there. One with Mickey Kenny falling out a window. Then they had to go back and look for his glasses on the roof to follow him. Stuff like that. Paddy Rabbit will be able to remember all those stories.
Brilliant.
But yeah. And like before I go any further, I really, really want to thank you for doing this. No, it means a lot. You know, you're in essence immortalizing him even further. So thanks very much for that.
And it's absolutely my pleasure to do that. My pleasure. Danny, we're going to finish off with a quick fire round because people are waiting for it to be saying, where's the quick?
Sure, Speedy.
Yeah, a speedy round. Okay, we'll have a speedy round.
Okay, right.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so Danny, here we go. You ready? First thing you buy if you won the lotto.
Wow, a house.
Favorite singer or band?
Chris Stapleton.
Your first movie you've ever seen?
First movie I've ever seen, The Leprechaun.
Best thing about Clara?
What's the story?
Okay, you'll be kept. Favorite song to sing?
You Can Close Your Eyes by James Taylor. Best
thing about being a father?
Oh, the smile.
Who's your favorite bassist?
My favorite bassist. Oh my God. I can't.
This is a speedy round, Danny.
I know it's a speedy round, but Jesus, you're asking him. It's like, I can't ask him. This is his favorite.
Okay. Favorite takeaway dish? That's an easy one.
Chinese.
Best concert ever attended?
Oh, Paul Simon with the Ladysmith Black Mambaza Band.
Which of these US presidents appeared on television series Laugh In? Was it A. Lyndon Johnson, B. Richard Nixon, C. Jimmy Carter, or D. Gerald Ford?
I would say Richard Nixon.
You're going for Richard Nixon?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just he seemed to be more in the public eye than anyone else.
Your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, you're right.
Oh!
You've won a virtual $1 million donuts from Stodge.
Grand, as if I don't have enough weight problem.
Right, Danny, an action-packed show. We nearly forgot to do our Stodge Face competition. This is for some Stodge Face goodies. Pick a nice winner out there, Danny. And the name should be on the top. Who is it going to be, guys? Well, Danny.
Mags Rickard.
Mags Rickard. Congratulations. You've won some Stodge Face goodies. We'll be in touch. Danny, I really appreciate you coming in here. I know your father's death is very, I suppose it's very raw to put it in.
Raw and impactful, and it makes it big.
Yeah,
difference
you know, and
in
it's not that long ago. So to come in and pick a few tunes and have a bit of crack was lovely, and I really appreciate you doing that. I don't know what song we'd finish off with. Have you any ideas?
Sure, it has to be Neil Diamond, really, doesn't it?
Maybe. Did your father even like Neil Diamond?
Now that you mention it. I'd say maybe 3 years ago, the year before he got sick, we were like, he was very cross. His birthday was 2 days after Christmas. And if you got him the one present for the two things, he'd crack up. So
that's understandable.
So we're like, we got you this present, so we're going to get you tickets to Neil Diamond in the Tree Arena. He goes, no, don't. I said, why not? So I couldn't sit there and listen to him for 2 hours.
That's classic.
What's the chances?
Oh, brilliant. Right, so we're going to finish off. This is a recording from, thank you to Joe Rabbit again, from 1989, would you believe?
Thanks, Joe.
To Whackos. Adrian Rabbit is drumming, and Joe Rabbit Senior on the guitar. Danny, thanks again.
Oh, thank you, Lloyd.
Lovely. And everyone, I'll talk to you next week. And don't forget, the Clara Business Directory is live tomorrow on littletownmedia.com. Take care of yourself. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
Sing and dance and it can walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans. Honey's sweet, but it ain't nothing next to baby's tree. And if you'd pardon me, I'd like to say we'll do okay. Baby, tonight by the fire, all alone, you and I. Nothing around but the sound of my heart and your sigh. Honey talks, but it can't sing and dance and it can't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans, babe. Honey's sweet, but it ain't nothing next to baby's tree. And if you'll pardon me, I'd like to stay. We'll do okay, forever in blue jeans. Baby, tonight by the fire, all alone, you and I. Nothing around but the sound of my heart and your sigh. And Bonnie talks, but it can't sing and dance and it can't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans, babe. Honey's sweet, but it ain't nothing next to baby's tree. And if you'll pardon me, I'd like to say we'll do okay, forever in blue jeans, babe. La la la, la 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 la. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans, babe.
You just listened to What's the Story with Lloyd Bracken. Check out all our social channels for info on new episodes. Oh, and thanks for listening. On the Town.